starseeds, earth incarnates, fairy beings, extra-dimensional beings, ultra-dimensional beings, meta-dimensional beings, omni-dimensional beings, all angels, all beings, all timelines, all cell structures are gathered here on this here planet to witness that what we call the event. Many have talked about and theorized of how this shall take place. Even so, many have failed to understand that it takes place inside. Pardon. The outside merely reflects what has manifest, what hasn't been solved, as a symbol or a signature to put you on your path, to remind you you're off track, you're on track. Now the trick in this situation is to weed out those that don't believe in what is to be taught. Some of us do that because we allow ourselves to lean out the window, so to speak, of the old paradigm, to be ridiculed and to be laughed at. So for those that are in resonance, you know exactly where I'm coming from, might know where this will go. Have a little tale, some want to call it self-fulfilling prophecy. I think there's something to it. I had many beings online that are in communication with me in that upper dimensional layer. At times I remember, at times I have to recall. Then understanding within myself that we are recall beings. We don't base our things on based memory that has its foundation on somebody else's based memory. It's about the embodiment of that truth, the experience and living that truth, the embodiment of that. And for whatever place you are in right now or wherever you might go, it's about commitment. It's about, are you on the boat or are you off the boat? And it goes science fiction, it goes phantasmagorical, it goes way out there to understand who you are. Understanding that in my dreams I was told I am one of the Council of Nine. That makes me, in the eyes of the old paradigm, even more ridiculous. Then I have other beings contacting me, bless them, telling me that I specifically told them that I'm one of the 9. I'm not the only one. There are many councils here, many gate holders, gatekeepers, key holders, ascension developers, conscious and subconscious and other dimensional technicians are here to help restore the planet. We're not here to install fear or invoke conspiracy or competition. It's like saying, well, somebody's a dentist, and the non-believer would say, well, what makes you so special that you're the dentist? Well, the dentist went to school, applied, finished the school, has certain grades, that's why he can help you. So it doesn't matter how you throw your lower dimensional gimmicks at that dentist. If you have a problem with your dental structure, he can assist you in the best way possible, according to his knowledge, to help you to make your life better by biomechanically reestablishing your set so you can eat and be at peace. So the same goes when you take that to the angels. We have certain degrees. All of you are angelic descent in physical form. Some of us go even as far back as pre-angelic. I find out that I have very much to do with D9, or 9D, or 9-dimensional aspects of a council, of a conglomerate, of a collective consciousness, that in part in that council, I represent the Ra Confederacy. To put that together is a very complex spectrum of cell structures in a multidimensional aspect. So saying, I'm a certain cell in a certain organism. I function as a T helper cell or an antibody. I function as to reestablish an immune system. I function as a igniter of energies that needs to be in place to enhance a holistic principle of an organism that can become superhuman, that has all the faculties and all the potentials to become superhuman. We have to step out of this illusion that we think this is an illusion. Oh yes, of course, my body is a holographic residual image of self that I use as a blueprint to communicate with you over this channel. Moving molecules, thus moving electrons, moving pixels, moving database, moving silica chip as an essential processing unit to have the computer translate the image to the channel that you're watching. That will be the complex term of how I'm communicating with you. But let's say I'm communicating with you here, and I'm communicating with you on the higher level. It is no longer of having to impress with titles who and what you are. Some are surfers, some are gliders, some are extreme sports guys, and the same thing is as in with the angelic properties that we possess. I found out who I very much relate to, and people think that I kind of relate to that character, a being that has mastered its emotional body, which it isn't easy. A being that is a hybrid, a being that is a commander, also a scientist, a being that is Vulcan, has elven ears, and you from Star Trek, you know him as Spock, and he wears the blue shirt, and I'm thinking I'm of the blue ray. So I'm putting all of these facts together. You know, why was that a character that I identify with? What is it that I carry within me that I identify with the character? And then I kind of put the dots together as like the base crew, or the basic construct for the main crew on the Starship Enterprise was 9 members. They made sure the job was done to fix whatever planetary missions they had. So this is a little bit longer mission, and it's not just ship and beaming down. It's more like in a human vessel, and at night times consciousness is being projected back up to the ship. For many of us, it's ET at night and human by day. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but not as violent. It's more like, you know, when night times come, your night self comes out, you open more up, you get in deeper conversations. Why? Because your ET self comes out. What does the word planet mean? Plan ET. Simple. We need to break down the phonetics of a lower dimensional aspect of communication that is English. So words can be misleading. Words can be misused. We know that. But what we have to understand in this Ascension protocol system is you have to commit to yourself. You can't run around anymore, running away from your shadow, meaning the aspect that you haven't looked at, facing yourself. You're restless right now because systems are set in place to remind you that you need to find your purpose right now. And it's important to be in your purpose. And it's important to have faith. What does that mean, faith? Faith means, are you really convinced of the position that you are in, the being that you represent, and you are becoming as you're recalling your cosmic memory, that you do not pivot, you do not move from what is known, as in a divine sense. You move from the former known paradigm into the new paradigm, which is kind of uncanny because it gets you out of your comfort zone. No longer will you live a comfortable life where things will just trickle down like how the river runs it. Now how you have to run it. Now the responsibility comes to you. You have to formulate that. And this is beyond any religion, claiming any god, any deity, any species, because all these species that came before you, whether it's Jesus, Buddha, Pakal Votan, Wotan as in the Viking god, Odin, Zeus, all of these archetypical program constructs that came here, were here to remind you how to do it right. It's like you have one holy being, and then you have 30,000 faculties and institutions that claim they know how the religion has to be created around that being. No, that is far from the truth. If you put your life in one book, then you can be judged by that book. Don't limit yourself to one thing. Begin to assemble multiple things and multiple existence and multitudes of attitudes and altitudes that you exist in, and bring them together as one. Recalibrate your main 12 archetypes, your 12 aspects, your 12-dimensional shield. However that's going to show itself, you will know what to do. We're talking about fifth dimensional aspects. It's not just the fifth dimension, it's a vibratory state, meaning there can be a planet that looks like the sun from far, but it's actually a planet like Earth, but it's such a high resonant frequency that the lower dimensional aspect would perceive that planet as an ascended planet, as a sun. So it might be, I leave that open for entertainment purposes and resonant feelings, that sun is a planet with ascended beings, with powers and levels up to you can't even imagine. So why do we have imagination? Magi-nation. It's the magic. It's the template that you need to create your future world. And those that fail to create the future world will have no future world. Remember the never-ending story. They needed one being with the fantasy to project in one grain of sand to bring Fantasia back. Why these stories are being told. You have stories out here where you gotta see stories that are made for entertainment purposes that lead to nowhere, and there's a dead end. And then you have to see there are stories that are created to talk to you, to trigger things in you, to awaken you to your purpose. The magic is already here. Synchronicities are called coincidence, but it's not a coincidence. Things that have to happen will take place. Extremes will meet. What can't avoid it will be. If you don't stop a certain thing that's happening to you, guess what? It will continue. The math is real simple. The structure is real simple. As you reassemble all of these things that make you, as you remember, you're becoming who you are, and you are free. Always know you are free to decide, I'm watching channel number 1, maybe I'm watching channel number 2. Maybe I don't watch CNN. Maybe the news that I see is so upsetting. Maybe I have to ask myself, why is it that I sit in front of the TV with upsetting news every day? What is it that I do every day when I get up to change that life is upsetting? Do I have the position to make life better for myself? Can I make a choice in life to create something that brings more peace to my life? Can I not be afraid to step up and say enough? I am an ambassador. I am intergalactic. My path of ascension is not to be disturbed. Not to say that I would ignore things that need attention. But we have to focus our mind on what is it that I'm doing every day as I'm holding my position. I'm holding the torch, as they say. I'm holding the light in the grid that I was called to help Earth ascend. To give somebody who can't see that within themselves, you're not crazy. You're not from Earth. You're on this planet. You live many lifetimes. You have to understand, you have to come to the conclusion that your DNA is intergalactic. There's no such thing as this is Earth, you know. Now imagine somebody's from the Orion system, born here on Earth with amnesia, and he sits there and says, UFOs and ETs, there's no life in outer space. How preposterous would that be, that you have trillions of planets surrounding you? You're supposed to resemble intelligent life, consciousness, pardon, bipedal beings, but yet you disown yourself and claim that there's no intelligent life in the universe. Well, guess what Earth is? Earth is a planet. We Arcturians call Earth Velatropa. Some of you call it Tiamat, that's that dimension. Some call it Gaia, that's that dimension. Earth has many octaves. Earth is in a rainbow. We are learning now to go from the lowest vibration on up. So 3D to 5D, when people miss that, what is 3D? You don't even fathom what 3D is because you're part of it and you're in it. You can watch explanations on what dimensions are. But here is one thing, is once the environment changes, So your DNA and RNA changes. You want to study that on quantum physics and quantum influence of DNA structures, watch Dr. Bruce Lipton. Very interesting things he has proven. So if our environment becomes intergalactic, guess what? Where the mind state, it becomes intergalactic. All the futuristic things that you see in movies like Oblivion, After Earth, suits being developed, all of that, you think this is an idea that comes from nothing and there's no use for what we do? Or do you think actually that we're smart enough to go somewhere? This will lead somewhere. This will inspire us to go somewhere at some point. The recalibration takes place right now, and it's difficult for some people that still are stuck in the old paradigm. Don't believe, because where you get your gas, how you have your car, how you pay insurance, that's going to continue on. But also, if you have bills, be responsible and pay your bills. I'm not saying that I'm a saint. I have personality programs that I have to keep in check, because here's the cosmic self and here's your personality program. There will be a calling as this higher self wants to integrate, or wants to be integrated into the anchor point, as in bringing heaven down on earth. The imagined heaven anchored in the body is Yahweh, which is God eternal within the body. That's what the DNA says. Check Raiden the God code. We have Hebrew fire letters that can be translated from the Gattaca code. It is written in us. The book of life we carry. Guess what? The children of Isis, the children of Ra, the children of the Elohim are Israel. What is Israel? Israel is the head, or it used to be the head. It has nothing to do with religion or politics or whatever. I never, in this vessel, experienced Israel. But how about Israel as the head? How about the 12 original tribes of Israel are the 12 meridians that lead to your body? How about if we have a unified 12 tribes of Israel, we can go to the kingdom of the source. Some call it the Father, I call it the source. It's neither or. You can say astrology is an anatomy of self. Who would know that Aries is the head? Gemini, Kidneys is Libra. Look into the aspect of what the balance means, What do your kidneys look like? Explore your kidneys. What are the readings on the kidneys and the level of health? This entire organism here. We are on Earth. We're blaming this, we're blaming that. We have basically kidney arguing with the liver who should lead the program in the vessel, Earth. We have the pinky discussing with the heart what heart should be. And we have to understand there are different levels of intelligence. Some people are toddlers. A good friend of mine named Raven Delacroix said, talk to the being in front of you. So if somebody acts like a 2-year-old, adjust yourself, take your pride out of the loop, take your anger out of the loop that you can't move anybody or can convince. We're not here to convince or convert. If somebody is not on the level of understanding where you are, then you have to, or you have the choice to level with them and say, if you understand lollipop and I'm having a good day, well then let's go lollipop and give that being a good day. You can't feed babies steaks. Some people are higher in the development or faster, such as in class. See this as an angelic school for gods. Ye are gods, children of the Most High. Those who want to quote Bible, go to the Bible, Go to the Quran. Read in-depth things that even people that study these books in deep miss to read and fail to interpret of who you are and what you are and where you are going. This has to do with supreme intelligence, supreme angelic forces that are here to assist you, that are here, that love you with everything they have. Whether you murderers, suicidal, wicked to the bone, they're here to embrace you, to give you the understanding. Not that I'm okaying wicked is as wicked does, evil is as evil does, but you have an opportunity to make a choice, to get out of a trap that you're in. Let's say, for example, you're 30 years old, you are a female, and your parents finance you because you can't get it together. Your car, your phone, everything that you own, everything that you pay for, actually your parents worked for. How does that make you feel when you reflect that back in? Same goes for males. Let's say you're male, you're around 28. Your parents love you, so they pay for you, they finance your ways. And look at it, if I had children in this lifetime, I'd probably do the same. But here's the thing is, are we enabling that others can't get it together? And how shocking would it be to imagine if daddy or mommy or parents right now would cut the funds because they look at you and say, well, why don't you go to work? Why don't you get your stuff together? In some departments, work can be very humbling. What I learned in my perspective as in building the human aspect towards the galactic aspect is when I first met my Wing Chun Sifu, I sat down and I listened, because in my mind I could go deeper within and see, well, he has 25 years of experience. I've read a few books, I had a few training camps, but let's say I know nothing. Be humble and observe. As I'm sitting down, another guy comes and wants to be a student, and he talks all this great talk of who he knows, all the martial artists, all the camps he's been to, all the trophies he's collected, and how he can whip somebody's ass, and he's this and this and this and this and this and that. So obviously this being has not made the experience. There's a limit to strength and what you think. Well, then my Sifu was like, well, you have all of these expertise. Show me. And that's where we are right now. The stage of knowing, not assuming or believing. It's, do you have the consistency, the expertise to deliver what you talk about? And that's how heaven will measure you. So some people will even dwell on stolen legacies, plagiarism, things that they haven't created, and try to run with it. You will be evaluated as the angels assess the situation. Because guess what? The all-seeing eye is you. The all-seeing eye is the consciousness, top to bottom. You are in a fishbowl 24/7. Doreen Virtue said it, and I really like it. When you go to the gas station and you mistreat somebody, everybody will see how you treat them. If you are being a person that is upsetting another person for no reason, because for your sake, and you want to do that, and you can't admit that you are the cause of that upset, then there's a lot for beings that they have to learn. So guess what happened to the student that claimed he was all so great and all so powerful? My Sifu put him in place in 2 seconds. He was on the floor and he held his index finger on his head. He's like, so what is that you were talking about? That means everything that you talked about in a minute can mean nothing. And that is where reality check comes in. Even people that use you as friends because they need an in with something is, like people want to be in a club and it's trendy to be in a club. Let it be the Angelic club, but this time it's the club of authenticity, integrity, truth, transparency. And somebody comes in there with all the issues and they want to hide. Guess what? You'll be seen. You'll be noted. You'll be embraced. You'll even be given a chance to change yourself for the better, to make that what you are better. Because everybody can see you. And that's where the rubber meets the road. If you tell me that you are about this and about that, I watch the action. The words are secondary to me, and so should the words be secondary to you. Evaluate your surrounding environment. See where you are. Is this the right place for you? Are you in your purpose? The angels always say ask, so ask the question. If I don't know which direction I'm going, am I going the right path? You can do tarot. You can do other cards. You can do readings. I do readings myself, but it's not necessary that you come to me for readings. This is all, again, about resonance. Showing you yourself, reflecting back who you are. So I am just an aspect of your consciousness that you allowing in, and I very much appreciate that allowance. That I can communicate to you as a cell from a level, maybe you never listened to your pinky. Maybe you never had a foot rub. Maybe you never thought about your feet or your hands, how they have the perfect partnership. Your feet serve you unconditional, whether you're depressed, you're in love, you're walking on clouds, wherever you are, they will walk the walk for as long as they need it. Have you ever looked at your feet, touched your feet, oiled your feet, blessed your body, the kingdom of the heaven, and say, thank you, body, for bringing me this far, for letting me write and create. Sculptors, painters, your hands. I thank my hands for serving me. I thank my body. I thank for my heart for beating the beat of life to bring me here, so I can enjoy this magical unfoldment and the dimensions taking place. And again, this is beyond religion. I'm not using any figures or any books or any metaphors. This is about real life and feeling. I want to sit at a fireplace with people and let's cook something, and everybody sits there and we in each other's presence, and you know what? All is well. All is good. And there can be peace on earth. There can be unity. And we all can come together as such. So, to wrap this up, I suggest less drama in your life. Not to ignore the drama. Don't be like, oh, I'm all spiritual, I'm over here, everything is, I'm positive, and I'm ignoring the dark side. See the dark side. See the light side. See that there's light and see there's dark. See the centralize it is, the center is on top. The pineal gland is here. The logic mind is here. The emotional mind is here. A side note is, let's imagine, and I'm saying that with strategic background, in this game of evolution 5 million years ago, we had beings that implanted a distortion field between the emotional and the mental body. Well, guess where you are? We are solving that distortion. It's like signal to noise ratio has been tampered with, and now your body is being recalibrated. Ownerships in life, in all dimensions. Here to assist you, to recalibrate you, to bring the purpose back in you. And it's not about believing anymore. It's about, can you embody that you want to go there? Can you see yourself going there? Is that your cause? Is that what you want to be? Then commit. Commit to yourself. Commit to love. Commit to transparency. Commit to the truth. And nothing but the truth shall unfold in front of you. And I wish you infinite light, infinite healing, infinite golden rays of light, and healing, so you can understand the aspect of who you are and the greatness that you resemble. And I'm thankful for all those that watch, that are here, that share this with me. And on a side note, for those who want to add me under Arcturus Ra on Facebook, please say something. Don't just come there and add because you want to add a sentence or hello or greetings or how you doing. I love communication very much. So everybody that comes with me, I can't cater to everybody. I'm trying my best to cover what I can, to assist in the best way that I can. Or when people communicate and not Bible texts of 2,000 million pages, something to the point, I can answer to the point. I keep it short and simple because I gotta keep it moving for everybody else that wants to talk or communicate. So in love, in life, in this here new reality, in new paradigm, every day you wake up is a new day to do something new, to change the routine and get off the autopilot. Because accidents happens when you're on consciousness and you do this to bring you back into feel yourself, feel your body, feel your feet, get a massage, find a floating tank, sensory deprivation tank, do a float, do something good, get self-salts, get into all the good stuff, all the superfoods the body ever needs. And on that note, somebody told me, Ra, back in the days, you had the thunder in your control. And he said, you have to bring the thunder back. So I'm the time traveler here in this vessel, sharing this interdimensional experience, extravagance with you as I bring